Welcome to the spot. It's time to ignite. Oh yeah. Operation Hangout. The feeling's just right. Chilling with the crew. We're ready to groove. Opinions flying high. Come on, let's move. Woo! Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Pull up a chair, let's get in the zone. Voices blending smooth like a funky trombone. Oh yeah. Topics from the heart, making us think. With a twist and a shout, raise up your drink. Cheers! Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Bring it down, shake it up, feel the beat. With every word we share, the circle's complete. Living loud, think the crowd, that's what we do. Oh yeah. Join the club, come on through, we're waiting for you. Alright. Hang out, all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Hang out.
What is going on, everybody? We're back at another stream, another live. You know where you're at. You're at Spartan HQ Network. I'm your host, the Spartan, aka Peter. So tonight we are talking about movies that deserve the hype, and there are a lot of movies like that. Is my favorite era of movies are usually in the 80, 85 era. Not because I was born. I just feel like that era we had a very good success with movies. Before we go on, we have my man Eric in the building. Eric says hello. Taking my seat in the corner as I dinner. Great, my man. So before I do my open online, I gotta get this guy in here. He's excited. He's from Planet Vegeta. He's way, way, way too much baby oil. Of course, I'm talking about my man Anton. Anton, what's up, my man?
What's going on, Peter? I had to go from one show to this one.
Yeah,
Paul had to remind me, so I made sure I got here.
Unfortunately, this is the price we pay to do our lives, are a sacrifice for our audience. But we enjoy it. We don't call it a sacrifice. We don't call it work. We call it fun, actually, right?
Yes.
And Operation Hangout is all about fun. Remember that.
Yes.
That's why it's called Operation Hangout.
Yes.
Did I ever give you the backstory why I named it Operation Hangout?
No, to be honest, no, I don't know the backstory.
All right. So anybody who doesn't know the story behind it, I'm gonna give you a little gist of it. So when I first started my YouTube journey, my channel was originally called Grooming Reviews 101. I started doing a little. I was in the process of growing my hair out to donate it for my mom, and I was growing my beard out, just to motivate her. If you want to see my face again, you have to be cancer. So I did a bunch of content on, like, I was reviewing different oils, different conditioners, colognes, Bath and Body Works, different, how to treat your beard, how to treat your hair, all this stuff. So once I hit the year mark, I was ready to go live. And at the time I had quit smoking and vaping, and my first show was what was it called? Freedom from Vaping. And I flew solo for a little bit. And then my first two guests were, believe it or not, was my man CQ and King. We
Really?
debated about Apple versus Android. The first, yep. And obviously CQ's a hardcore Apple boy, and King
So be
uses
it.
Apple, but he loves his Android. Only reason he likes his Apple is because FaceTime with his daughter and stuff like that.
But there is a link you can get that Apple can send to people who don't have it, where you could
Correct.
actually do talk to someone via FaceTime that way.
Or the Apple user can download Google Hangout. Simple. So then I started talking to Paul. Like, we should do a show together. You should come on board. He says, I'm like, I'm bet. He goes, I'm on it, but I needed a name. You know me, how I love military.
Yes.
Operation. What does Operation stand for in the military?
It's a mission. That's basically what it
Bingo.
is.
This is a mission for fun, I felt. All right. But this operation didn't stick well for me. So hang out. We hang out and have fun. And that's where Operation Hangout was born. So we've been doing Operation Hangout for, I'll tell you right now, I'm going back into the archives. Let me go back a little bit further back. The first Operation Hangout was a little bit over 2 years ago.
Wow.
And we talked about, let me see if I can go back and see what we talked about here that day. Let me see. What movie could you watch every day?
Oh wow.
My first team was Paul, Coach, and my buddy Hashim. We called him the Wise Man at the time.
Okay.
So that's where the Operation Hangout came from. And today's a perfect topic for Operation Hangout because we're talking about movies that deserve hype. As I was saying before, I wanted to come in. My favorite era, if you want to call it an era, actually I won't say era, year of movies was 85, around 85, 86. I felt that was the best movies. We had Ghostbusters, we had
Yes.
One,
Yes.
Two, for example. So we had some great movies in that time.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And there were not only that, like, here, let me get my list up really fast. Back to the Future.
Yes.
Rambo Part 2. Out of Africa.
That was a good
Rocky
movie.
4. I'm sorry. No,
Rocky 4.
4. I'm sorry. Rocky 4. The Breakfast Club. The
Yes.
Goonies, The Clue. Pee-wee's Big Adventures. Oh, that was cheesy, actually. The Gold Pledge. The Witnesses. And that's only the ties of the iceberg. Think about how many movies that did so well in 85. And this goes to the topic we're talking about tonight. The hype of it.
Yeah.
Top Gun definitely had the hype for it. I will stick back.
Honestly,
I'll fight anybody. You want to fight me? Let's go. Let's fight outside right now, dude.
Top Gun basically changed how people look at the military. Oh wow, Lady Hawk. I forgot about that. That was a good movie.
Yeah, and this is Eric's forte because this is his era.
Yeah. What Top Gun did it encouraged a generation of aviators at that time
Correct.
because applications to the Naval Academy skyrocketed because of the movie. I can tell you right now firsthand that a good number of pilots that you have either in the Navy or flying commercially that served in the Navy probably were motivated because of Top Gun. The movie is an icon. It's one of I tell my wife this. Top Gun is one of those movies you can't say you grew up in the 80s and never seen Top Gun. You can't say you grew up in the 80s and never saw The Breakfast Club. You can't say you grew up in the 80s and never saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Shout out to the late John Hughes.
Believe it or not, Eric is gonna hate this. He's gonna stop puking in a minute. One of the movies is in '08 that had the most hype. I know it says rated, the highest rated, right? This is right? In the title. You know what that movie that was?
Ooh, wow.
'08
2008?
comic book movie. I'll give you a clue.
Oh, wait. Captain America?
Nope. You're too early for that. Actually,
Too early. Oh, I got
you ready for it?
All right.
The Dark Knight.
That's right. That's right. Because I saw Captain America, the first Avenger, on my birthday. Because when it came out on my birthday, July 22nd. I actually took the night off to go to the midnight premiere in 3D. And I still have.
It was not Iron Man, my man. It was not Iron Man.
And I still have the 3D sunglasses. They gave everyone these special commemorative 3D sunglasses with the blue rims and the red arms and everything else. And they
I
also
don't
have
remember that.
Say again?
I don't remember that. But Iron Man did come out in '08. And I knew it. He was going to say this.
Wait, 2007?
Nope, '08. People mix it up always.
But either way, that was a great time for movies. Like, honestly, when I saw the trailer, when my wife and I saw the trailer for Iron Man, we were like, "Are they for real?" Because I was wondering, like, how are they gonna pull this off? And when we saw it, it was like, I'll be honest, it was better than I expected, and that's what also led to the Marvel ending. Why you have to stay after the credits to see what
It
else
started
is
with
going to
Iron
happen.
Man. The Iron Man was the first hype movie for Marvel. It was still Marvel at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the theater seeing it. At the time, I was dating a girl at the time,
Okay.
and I was so pissed at her actually because I wanted to go see it so bad, and she goes and sees it with her best friend. I'm like, what the fuck? She could. She had a little flat, PTSD. She said because her brother was in the military, and the whole beginning scene, with you cannot call PTSD because you're not in the military. Don't call bullshit that.
Exactly.
Called bullshit on that. And like only people who can say I get PTSD seeing that scene is people in the military like yourself. So fuck you for saying that. That pissed me off.
That's foul.
I went by myself and saw it, and I enjoyed it very much. So I'm like, and I saw that scene. I'm like, really? She's getting PTSD. This has nothing to do with the military. It's about a rich guy getting hands exposed. Completely two different things. So when they did the Iron Man, I was like, I hope they do a good job, and they did a great job.
He did a great job.
Captain America did a great job. That was my favorite. The first series of movies, the first phase one, right. Captain America was my favorite one. Like I always loved that.
It's okay, Pat. You're good. You're good. It happens. No big deal. But I remember, like I said, when I went to see Captain America, I went to see the midnight premiere. After I was done, I went to the job. A couple people knew it was my birthday. A couple people knew I was going to go see it. A couple people were like, wait a minute, where is Antoine? My wife told them, what do you think's coming out? And they were like my friend Johnny, my friend Mark. They were like, "Wait, he went to the midnight premiere?" And she was like, "Yeah." I went to the job after I was done seeing the movie because my wife was about to finish up. Some people I know were coming out and they were like, "Let me guess, you saw Captain America?" I was like, "Yup." How was it?
See, the other movie I want to mention that was very hype for the time. It was my younger years.
Okay.
I'm going back 92, and Eric is going to like this one actually. That I'm not only going to go rated by movies that were hyped by the numbers, it's also the hype that I grew up on and you grew up on, and that we remember talking about it for days and days and days.
Right.
Because I don't believe the ratings always are right. I will say that out loud. Sometimes the ratings are actually off. One actually is one of my favorite movies. It's actually I agree. Now it wasn't pretty cool. It was a fucking awesome movie, and I'm pissed they never made a goddamn sequel. And I felt like they should have made a sequel if they did it. So the other movie that I think was very good for the time at the time, keyword, was two: Batman Returns and Batman Forever. I don't remember what year Batman Forever. I'm looking it up right now. I gotta find it. It's somewhere in this list.
I actually remember when Batman came out in '89. I remember the hype behind that. A lot of people were looking forward to it. A lot.
95. Batman Forever was 95. I remember going to see Batman Forever. Oh my god. The other hype one, and looking back, it was kind of cheesy, but I still enjoy it because how cheesy it is.
What's that?
And it was very hyped for the kids in my age at the time.
Right.
Batman and Robin.
Oh!
Shots fired, right?
Wow!
Yep.
Wow! And ironically, I remember when that came out, people were thinking, were they going to start doing Nightwing? Were they going to start doing the night? Were they going to branch off and start?
I don't remember that because I was too young for Nightwing. But I do remember the comic books, the toys, and everybody was going crazy for that shit. I'm like, let's get Batman and Robin, Batman and Robin. It was all everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was a failure technically as a movie.
Yeah, it was Uma Thurman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, George Clooney, Alicia Silverstone.
And I like this comment. He says, Batman Forever is the most unrated Batman film. Val Kilmer nailed it. And I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Avenue. He's probably in my top list of Batmans. He's not my number one. He's not my number last. He's my top list.
I'm always going to put him up there because I don't know how he found a way to pull it off. And I hear he knows how to get into character for a lot of his roles. And I feel like what he was trying to do, it's like he was trying to, you felt like he was trying to blend Adam West with Michael Keaton.
See, here's my list of Batman actors, all right? Bruce Wayne and Batman, right?
All right.
Number one is Chris Bale. I think he's the best Batman ever made.
Really?
I think he kills Batman and Bruce Wayne very well, all right?
Okay.
And that's a debate for everybody has their own list. That's my personal list.
Okay.
Second is my Michael Keaton, whatever his name.
Michael Keaton,
the original Batman. I really liked him in Flash when he came back as a character. And
yes.
I feel like the Batman Beyond could really happen now. Third place is Val Kilmer. Killed it. And this is not like which one is better. It depends on the role. Right. It depends on the character. It depends on the type of character. Chris is always going to be a number one for me as Batman.
Okay.
The other ones can flip and flop for me. All right. Now with oh man, what's his name?
Ben Affleck or George Clooney?
George Clooney. I think he did a great job as Bruce Wayne, not as good as Batman. That's why he's fourth for me. When he came back as a Flash and he came out as Bruce Wayne, I'm like, that's Bruce Wayne, all right. And the last one for me is the kid who plays the Batman. I don't like that
Robert Pattinson.
Very boring movie personally.
Really?
Most boring Batman movie I ever seen.
Really? Yes, Eric, you're right. She was. And I think what it was, they were trying to build off the success of Clueless. That's
disagree.
why.
I
Say
disagree.
again?
I
Really?
disagree a little bit. I think they were trying to, because in the end of Batman Forever, if you remember, they Robin came into it. I remember doing, "Oh my fucking god!" It was freaking out in the movie theater about it.
That's
You
right. She
remember that?
wasn't Batman Forever.
No, she
She,
wasn't.
she
Batman and
wasn't?
Robin. No, Batman and Robin. We're
I know
talking
she was a Batman and Robin, but I thought she did an uncredited role in Batman Forever in the
I don't remember
motorcycle
that.
racing scene. I could be mistaken.
That was Batman and Robin. But in Batman Forever, they finally introduced Batman has a partner, and there was so much hype on that. And so they said they take the hype and move it into the next movie.
Right.
If you remember, do you remember who did the first Batman movie, directed it? And
Tim Burton. Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Who did the second one?
Tim Burton.
Who did the third one?
Oh, I forgot who did the third one. That's when they started having different directors after that. Because they felt like Tim Burton was too dark. But I felt like what he was doing was taking everything we remember from the comic books and bringing it to life. That's why I felt like the first two were very good.
Mm-hmm. Comment from Pat again. He goes, because of who he was, replaced Val Killiam. I can't pronounce his last name.
Val Kilmer.
Thank you. Batman is a top 2 or 3 debatable, and it is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a bad Batman. I'm saying he's on my top of my list for a
I'll
reason.
definitely put him up there. I'm my list, I would say, is different than yours, Peter. Michael Keaton, number 1, Christian Bale 2. I have to give him credit. He nailed it. At first, I was a little skeptical in the first one when he did Batman Returns. No, not Batman Returns. The Dark Knight. I was a little skeptical. What was it? It wasn't. I'm getting confused. I'm trying to remember what the Christian Bale movies. They were the Dark Knight, Rises.
So it was Batman Begin, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. Thank you.
Because when he did Batman Begins, at first I was a little skeptical. But then when he did the Dark Knight and then Dark Knight Rises, I was like, you know what? Better than I thought. I wasn't
skeptical. What I was like, another fucking reboot. I was thinking to myself. Oh, you gotta be fucking putting a fucking 2x4 up my ass at this point. I'm so tired of reboots. And I was done. I was done with the reboot. But when I saw it, I'm like, okay, this is not a reboot. It's a reimagine.
Right.
And I didn't know what a reimagine was at that time. I was 05. I was too young. I remember that. I was still in high school. No, I was just coming out of high school.
I was just finishing up my time in the Army. Around 2005, 2006, I was just finishing my time in the Army.
Damn,
I'm still working on my job.
Actually,
shut up.
You're not old. And like, I'm old. You're fucking.
Yeah, I'm older. That's what it is.
No, you're dust, buddy.
Oh, shut up.
So, with these actors, like the guy who played Batman and Robin, Batman and Superman, Ben Affleck,
Ben
right?
Affleck. Ben Affleck.
I don't think he's a good Batman. I think he's a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Bruce Wayne, yes.
Not a good Batman.
Dawn of Justice was a bit of a disappointment.
When he fights as Batman, he fights very slow, but he has a physique. He has a nice build onto him.
Right.
Physique-wise, Ben Affleck killed that part. But it depends which version you're seeing, too. There's so many different versions of Batman. And that's another one. And then another one is the hype. And people keep forgetting to mention this guy up every once in a while. Let's take because we're in a superhero genre. Let's stick to that for a minute.
Okay.
Superman.
Wow. I'm my age. I'm always going to say Christopher Reeve.
I agree.
Because me growing up, that's who Superman was. It was Christopher Reeves. And yes, I know people will say, well, you got George Reeves from the old shows back in the 40s and 50s. And I get that. But for me, growing up, first person that comes to mind as Superman, Christopher Reeves. And that's no disrespect to George Reeves or anybody else. It's always going to be Christopher Reeves.
Christopher Reeves is going to be number one because that's who I grew up as Superman. That's who
a lot of people grew up on him as Superman.
So he did, again, I can't say he had the greatest physique as Superman. He did not.
No, he didn't.
So when they bring back a lookalike, and I think that's why it felt so bad, it was Brendan Root era.
Well, Brendan Roth, yeah.
Yes, as Batman Returns, I liked the movie. I'll be honest, I did like the movie, but people said he wasn't. They was trying to catch off where they left in Superman 4, the quest of
Oh God, the
peace.
Quest for Peace. That was
Horrible.
beyond
But
horrible.
the problem was they wanted to pick up where they left off. They couldn't do it. That's why I think that's why it bombed. Personally, I didn't think it was a bad movie. I still enjoyed it personally. Now with Man of Steel, uh, Harry Calvill,
Henry Cavill.
I think he was a good Superman. I enjoyed him.
Right.
I liked the reboot of Man of Steel. It goes more deeper now
Okay.
because we only have a snip of it
Right.
so far. You saw the technology, all this stuff. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Now with the new Superman, Superman the movie, 25,
Right.
I actually liked it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really did enjoy it.
Okay.
Estenio, and I can't pronounce. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his fucking name. If you got it, you can pronounce it. I'll read the comment really fast before as you're looking up. Yeah, man. Yeah, Man of Steel lives up to the hype. A few flaws, but the last good Superman film. I want to say the last 05, 25 was a pretty decent movie if you go with open mind. And that's where I get annoyed with people with movies. When you
Really?
go into a movie theater, go with open mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll use this for example. Did you see Master of the Universe yet?
No, I haven't.
All right, I can't spoil it too much for you guys. Okay, so if you're going to see He-Man, all
Mm-hmm.
right, don't expect the '85 cartoon. I'll tell you that much.
Gotcha.
You are going to get a lot of Easter egg hunts in there from the '85,
Okay.
but it is reimagined. It
Okay.
still has by the power of Grayskull,
Right.
right? All right, power of Grayskull.
Right.
You have Ghostbusters. You have all these main characters, but they're different now. Different universe.
Right. You're talking about Tyre Hoechlin? Oh no, that's in the show Superman Lois. My fault.
No. He was in Superman the movie 2025. Type that in, you'll find him.
Oh,
I can pronounce his
David.
fucking
David Cornsweat.
Thank you. And there it goes. After Superman 2, they should have.
Featured Bizarro. I can see that.
They're
I can
making a
see
movie of
that.
him right now. They're making a movie of him.
That'd be nice. Honestly, you also have to take the TV series, and I remember both TV series. Lois and Kent. Dean Cain played Superman as well. I thought he did a cool job there at that time.
I think he did a great job.
Yeah,
He didn't
and
have the physique, but he did have
Right.
a good job.
right, and he was an athlete too. People don't realize he was an athlete.
He
I
was.
think. Yeah, I think he played football at Princeton. Right, he got
He
into
was
act-
a college level, not
Yeah.
professional level.
He played college football at Princeton, if I remember. Tom Welling in Smallville, he was great.
I didn't watch it too much, but yeah, he did a good job.
Honestly, if you get a chance to watch the series from beginning to end, trust me, you see him grow. Really? Really? Wow. But honestly, I think if you watch Tom Welling in Smallville, you see him grow into becoming Superman. And you see him already thinking ahead, establishing the Justice League, having the Watchtower and everything else.
I agree with what you're saying, and I didn't watch most of it, but I did watch enough to understand it. I want to bring a comment, and I'm going to address another comment. All right,
Okay.
Gotham was another good reimagined.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't
That
watch too
was-
much of it, but I did catch enough of it here and there to say, okay, yeah, great job. Now with the Superman thing here, like he says, I don't want to disagree with what he's saying. I do understand his point of view. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, dude. But where I'm going to push back a little bit. Again, if you go into it saying thinking Superman from 85, you're going to be disappointed. He's not 85. You're going to need to go in mind, this is the Superman in 2025. That's why Lex Luthor, hang on. This is a spoiler alert. I repeat, it's a spoiler alert. So if you go in it at open mind, like I usually do in all movies I watch, this is 2025. That's why he uses up today's technology. He uses droids. He uses portals and all this shit. I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. And crypto in it, that's my homeboy. See, he's whistling, crypto comes fucking flying. I'm like, that's my dude.
Yeah,
that's my dude.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Michael Rosenbaum was great. Yeah,
Tom
Welling was the gold standard.
I didn't disagree. And I guess
Michael Rosenbaum was great at Lex Luthor. Yes, he was, Eric. He did. He brought a very unique spin to it because the first person you think of as Lex Luthor, of course, at the time, Gene Hackman. Rest in peace to the man himself as well. And Gene Hackman, when he played Lex Luthor, first wearing the toupees and then taking it off, he's the greatest mastermind of all. He was something. Michael Rosenbaum, excellent job in Smallville. Because I like what they did, how they made Clark and Lex literally start off as friends, and then you see them grow apart and distant.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see how the I won't say rivalry, but how the story of Superman and Lex Luthor, both of them almost, you think they're different parallels, and sometimes they're either different parallels or they're both the same, or they're both different sides of the same coin. It's like as much you think they're different, in some way they're sharing but polar opposites of one another. It's like they complement each other. You can't have Lex Luthor without Superman. You can't have Superman without Lex Luthor. Just like you can't have Batman without the Joker. You can't have the Joker without Batman. Like they need, for some reason, they have to coexist.
I agree 100%.
So Michael Rosenbaum was awesome. And you saw when you saw him in Smallville with Tom Welling, and you saw how they were friends and everything else, and then you start to see how they grow apart. And then after that, you see how eventually Superman is Lex Luthor. And you see how they literally complement one another. It's perfect. It's great. Yes, definitely. I know. You're right. You're right, Pat. I didn't like the fact that he left the show either. I didn't like the fact, a lot of people didn't like the fact that he left, but that's Hollywood sometimes, unfortunately. I forgot what the reason why he left, but honestly, they would have been perfect. They were perfect together. Those two working together, it was awesome. Awesome. It was just great work. Bravo. And I mean, to the people, the writers and everyone else behind Smallville, you got to tip your hat off to them, because it brought an element of Superman that you never think about. Before he became Superman, he's Clark Kent. How did he learn his powers? Like we saw.
Let's try to keep it just 2 movies tonight,
right? But
we're gonna be all over the place.
Yeah, I know, but.
So another movie comes to my mind when I say underrated at the time. I would say Blade.
Blade basically saved Marvel.
Absolutely, I'm not denying that one bit.
And a lot of people don't give the credit it deserves. Wesley Snipes taking that role, it was like, really?
I think they picked the perfect Blade. They couldn't have picked a better man to do Blade, to be honest with you.
Because I couldn't think of anyone else that honestly, I can't think of anyone else that could do that and pull that off. I couldn't.
I totally agree with you. Nobody else could do Blade like he did it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think somebody tried to say Michael Jai White. No. What he did, Michael Jai White made a name for himself when he did Spawn. For him to go from doing Spawn to this, it would not have worked. I think Wesley Snipes, it just worked. It was just perfect. It was perfect timing. I mean, and it helped say, and literally Blade coming, Blade being introduced, it worked in so many ways. It just worked. I don't know. That's the best way I could describe it. It worked. I can't see anyone else pulling it off.
I know. No pushback from here.
Yeah.
Because in another one that people were arguing about when this movie came out, Blade was coming out with Blade 2. Like it or hate it, that's the story. I actually enjoyed Blade 2, to be honest with you. I think there was a good sequel for the time.
Okay.
But Spider-Man was coming out at the same time. People didn't think Spider-Man was going to do as well as it did.
That's true.
I remember talking about this in school. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. Why do you want to see Spider-Man? Blade's better. I'm not going to disagree with you. It was like at the time because we didn't know what we were expecting.
Exactly.
And when we did, I was impressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It came out with better after Spider-Man. Like Amazing, I think Amazing Spider-Man is definitely underrated. I'll be honest with you. I think it's the most underrated movie ever.
Really? Wow.
In the MCU world.
Okay.
Because I say that. I'll tell you why I say that. They only did 2 movies of it because they say it bombed in the second. The second movie really bombed pretty bad, they say.
Oh, really?
I disagree. I think they did a great job with it. Now, when you close your eyes, who do you imagine Spider-Man?
Oh, wow.
From all the actors we had so far.
From all the actors? For some reason, I keep going to Tobey Maguire. Nothing against Tom Holland.
Tobey Maguire was a very, very good Peter Parker.
Okay.
My issue with the Spider-Man OG, let's call him that for now.
Okay.
At the time, everybody had cell phones already. At the time, Netflix and Nextels were out. All this stuff. He had a freaking old shit computer that I'm surprised he was able to handle all that what he was doing.
Yeah.
So he wasn't up to date. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was good. The second one was okay. The third one was whoa. I love Venom. I love how they did Venom. I'm not gonna deny that.
Yeah, Topher Grace really did his thing.
Correct.
Topher Grace, I gotta give him credit because people remember him from that 70s show. And for him to step out of that element from doing comedy to this, that's a ballsy move.
He went out of the 70s. Like the 70s show when the last day, he didn't say goodbye to anybody. He just walked right out after his stuff was done. So before we get on it, we got to get this guy in here. He's going to probably tell me I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. But Anton, please, can you hand him your baby oil to him? Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. Hey, good timing, by the way, Anton. We get that perfectly. We got to get back. So,
no, you know what? When you've been in for a period of time, those things you never forget. That's what it is.
Of course.
What's up, Jay?
What's going on, my man?
Oh, good. Working overtime.
Yeah.
Jump one show on to another. So hey.
Yeah, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
Well.
Doing good. Peter,
so Paul, you want to do your like really fast? What do you think about
on what now? What do we
we are going back and forth. We're just going all over the place. So the topic tonight is the most unrated the most hype movies in your opinion that deserve the hype. Like I said, Top Gun, Back to the Future, Batman, Dark Knight.
Any movie that was highly rated that lived up to it. That lived up to
the you're talking about movies throughout decades who are hyped up as one of the best.
Yeah.
Terminator was one of them. If you want to,
which one?
That was Arnold's.
Which one?
It wasn't hype though.
Oh no. Well, no. That's the first one.
The second one, Judgment Day.
Either I think it's second or Judgment Day, because the reason why that is because you had Arnold come back as actually instead of the villain, instead of being the Terminator himself, he came back as like the kid's protector and things like that. And also, it's an iconic scene in the biker bar. Let's just keep it real.
And also Robert Patrick when he played the T-1000.
Let's see what. Yeah, Robert Patrick. There we go. Robert
And
Patrick.
people don't know that Robert Patrick is an actual real biker.
Really?
Yeah,
loves-
he is. He is.
He owns a Harley sprint.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, he is. He is. He talked about it in like some of his interviews. If you go back and listen to him, he always talked about he brings up his bike. So yeah.
My buddy CQ had him on his show, and this first thing he said to him, like, "Yo, you're ever in my area? Come down here. I'll hook you up with a bike. Don't worry. I'll give you the friend discount and the military discount. Like,
Nice.
Trust me, everybody wanted to dress like Arnold after the second movie. Literally, bro, like I'd be a biker guy and shit like that. Like, yeah,
That
with the
chase-
shades and everything. Yeah, that was a
chase
thing.
scene in the city reservoir when Robert Patrick was driving the truck.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was on. I have to give him that. And the fact that he was able to keep a straight face without flinching throughout everything. The running, the driving, the fighting.
Yeah.
The fact that he was able to keep a straight face like that. Yo, that's bar none. I gotta give him that.
And you know what? I'll probably throw in the first RoboCop. I think the first RoboCop is actually that one. That one.
Again, not.
But I don't know if it was hype.
It wasn't really hype.
Right. That's what I'm saying. From what I'm understanding, the criteria is the movie came in with a lot of hype and lived up to it. I think RoboCop was almost like it was like a B, almost like a B move, but it people like it took off.
Did better
like
than expected.
yeah. Really, my answer
So ones
to
that
your
were
question,
expected to. Okay, I got you.
So
Yeah.
I would have to say any successful sequel, I would think, has to have that crown. The only franchise I can think of that it had to go in simply because the fan base would have certainly mandated it was the Lord of the Rings franchise.
Ooh.
With the Two Towers?
I mean,
Yeah.
all of it.
All
Right?
three.
Because, I mean, again, Lord of the Rings is one of the most literary fantasy book series ever, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That fan base before there was Harry Potter, and you can even say the Harry Potter franchise.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, but just based on the books alone, there would have been a lot of expectation from the fan base of those books, and the fact that they were able to deliver.
Yes.
And obviously have the sequels and the series and all that stuff, and I think
the King. Yes.
yeah. So and it got kind of, people say it got better over time.
It did.
But there were a lot of franchises like the Matrix. I don't think anybody knew what the Matrix was going to be.
Honestly,
Nobody
come in
knew that,
with a
so
lot
that
of
wasn't. It didn't come in with a lot of hype, but the
Correct.
expectations for the second one, the third ones were like, I think there was hype behind that one.
Right.
I think the second one, because the second one had more action and people knew what they were getting. Because people loved the first one, that was unexpected, and then their expectation for the second one was like, okay, what can the Bolowski brothers do? I think I'm not saying it, but Bolowski brothers, yeah, what can they do to improve on the first? That they improved on the first one.
Yeah,
What can they do?
I think that But as far as though, I would put the literary movies, because and we've had show again. Don't you keep reminding me of the time I got angry on the show because we were talking about because I mean a lot of I hate a lot of fans who have these unrealistic expectations based on a book. And the first thing they say, well, the book was never as good as the movie. Oh, the book was so much better.
The book and the movie were supposed to be two separate adaptations.
And I'm saying, and they don't separate the book from the film. It's a totally different art space. You can't tell. These are 400 or 500 page books. You can't tell a 400 or 500 page book in 2 hours.
Yeah, that's hard.
Well,
And so you have these, fans who just, like I said, there was no pleasing them. But again, Lord of the Rings, I heard very little blowback. The Chronicles of Narnia,
was very good.
I heard very little blowback because they stayed pretty faithful to,
Yes, they did.
to the actual
books.
book.
Yes, they did.
So
I'd probably say the Hunger Games actually too after the first one.
right.
But there was, I ain't gonna lie, there was proper promotion for that first one because people didn't know what they were watching at first.
That's true.
But the premise was very dark. Let's keep it real. Like this is like if you want to keep it real, like to this day, I still think that's still one of the like best interpretations of like a postmodern, probably like after apocalypse type warfare.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because most of the world, don't forget that, like when they were driving on trains in different sections of the world. or different parts of like people's living and things. And there
Right.
were things that were destroyed, blown up, things like this. This is like after probably a world war. Um, and then people and I'll tell you this, I didn't know it was a book at the time. At least with the first movie, like Jay, what you just watch, that's off a book. What? Yeah, that was all off a book. And I'm like, for real? Yes, it
I
is.
remember.
That was my boy told me that, and I was like, okay, dude, here's what I'm gonna do. If I read the book, I'll have a bias. So no, let me watch the movies. I'll do that when each one, if there's time, because two were out the time.
Right.
I'll watch those, and then once I get done watching that, then I'll read the books. Because
Oh,
I've always because I used to be one. I told you to tell people all the time. I never was a big literature buff until I got out of college. Because I was more of a I liked watching as opposed to reading. Now that I'm older, older. Now that I got out of college and things like that, I actually like reading the books predominantly. But
right.
it's better. But when they do adaptation of certain things like Hunger Games, I don't know lie, or like Harry Potter, like I think the movies hold up, despite if there's like a little couple of changes, but it doesn't take away from the actual. But like the characters you grew like for example Harry Potter. Let's just use an example.
Right.
Those were little ass like 10, 13-year-old kids.
Yeah.
We watched over a damn decade, a period of time. These kids
And watch
grow
them
up
grow
into
up.
like 7
Yeah.
movies. I don't give a damn what anyone says. They held up being the characters they were in the books, and I couldn't give a damn if they were a little slightly different. I'm like, to me, Daniel Radcliffe, that's Harry Potter. To me, Emma Watson, that's freaking Hermione. I don't care what anyone tells me. I can't like separate that now.
Rupert
And,
Grint
and
is
like I
also
said,
Ron Weasley.
yeah. Now I will say like, and people will come and tell me, especially with Goblet of Fire, which is my favorite. They kind of like skipped a few things, but not a whole bunch of things. And I'm like, well, I think I think they did the best they could with what they got because if they want to keep it real, these movies would have been like the Lord of the Rings if they went to the length of the books, they'd have been like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then you know what they would have said? Oh, these guys are just trying to like do Lord of the Rings, trying to be
Yeah.
like the Lord of the Rings. They try to invest you in, but the best you can do with certain adaptations is do it to your best ability, pay homage to it,
Yeah.
and then put some important. And I put the important parts in there, but you got to have the emotional weight behind it. That's how you sell it.
Right.
If you don't, I'm gonna be very blunt. If you don't, you're gonna get Supergirl, like what you just got, just came out. That's why everybody's ticked. But Hunger Games. I want to get back to that. Hunger Games was a good adaptation. I think it was really, really good.
You know what's
I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting that ending at all either. Like I expected it in tragedy.
Honestly, I never heard of the Hunger Games. I never heard of the Hunger Games until my wife would start reading the book. She started reading the book because a mutual friend of hers from her job, she was reading the book. She saw it, she looked through it, she read the book. My wife is a bit of a fast reader. So my wife's friend Crystal, shout out to her, lent my wife the book.
Nice.
She read it and she was just like, oh my God. And she was telling me about it. And then when we heard about the movies coming out, my wife told me, I'm like, what's this about? And then she explained to me, I'm like, seriously? And then I'll be honest, when I saw the Hunger Games, I saw the first one, I was like, yo, this is wild. And this was in the book. And she was like, yeah, this is in the book. I was like, wow. And I'll be honest, I never understood the big deal behind Harry Potter.
I never liked the Harry Potter.
I never understood the
No,
big
Sparta,
deal
you
behind
were.
it
We're
until
gonna
the
get
first
you,
movie
Sparta.
I never liked it.
You never.
Partially of the religion beliefs. There's a lot of priests were outraged when that movie came
Yeah,
out.
a good number.
Because is black magic is against most Christian religions, and that's what it's telling you. Oh, you can do magic. That is against anything the Bible teaches us.
But I think the only thing with that, Pete, and I'm not certainly critical of that, but I think that's somewhat hypocritical because those same people had no problem with Lord of the Rings because apparently H.R. Tolkien was, I guess, a Christian influence guy, so they had no problem with condemning that.
Tolkien
they had
is.
Gandalf was a magician.
Oh,
And
was a
even
magician,
in Chronicles of Narnia, there was some
C.S.
magical
Lewis was very
elements to it.
religious as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, they kind of, I hear a lot of picking and choosing when it comes to, oh, that's bad because it has magic in it. But wait a minute, these other genres had magic also, and we didn't hear anything from it.
That's true.
So
Like,
be consistent if you're going to criticize it.
I think my thing
Right.
about Harry
I'm
Potter,
not pushing back on that. I totally agree with that.
like the thing about Harry Potter, I never read the books, so I never understood the hype behind it. And my sister has the whole entire collection of Harry Potter books. She has it in English and she has it in French. Because even when she was living in Paris, everybody wanted to buy the English versions of the books over the French ones. You could get the French ones, no big deal. But it was the English versions everybody wanted. Because certain things that when it translated, it didn't sound right and it was hard to match it up.
Yeah.
So,
I was in middle school actually when I think the second book was out, Chamber of Secrets. I believe that one was out at the time. And I was like, and by the way, guys, I am 35 years old, so I want you to run back the clocks of how old I probably was. Like, I wasn't even like that old, to be honest. Like, I was very young when I saw that book, and I'm like, and it was like literally a phoenix with Harry on it. So I'm like, I remember it distinctly looking at that. So like, at least like 2 or 3 books are out this time, and they were talking about wait, Harry Potter, the book we read in middle school. Like, yeah, they're adapting those into a movie. It came out 2007, 2008, somewhere. I think it was 2008, the first one.
yeah, it was right before me.
And then,
sometime before my wife and I got married. But
yeah,
the real thing, like the thing was, I just never understood it, and then I was just like, "Oh my god, this is wild." And
right.
ironically, sadly, my sister-in-law, the name that you see under my name, she was a big Harry Potter fan. I'm talking big. When they had an expo in Paris a few years back, I remember she called me up and was like, I'm going to Paris. They're having this big thing. She wanted to order tickets, but everything was in French. So she was like, can you take care of this for me? I was like, all right, no problem. So when it came to reading the information, the tickets, getting all that, I took care of her for that. And she was just that grateful because she wanted to go. And they had this big expo in Paris at the time, and she really wanted to go, and she went, and she had a phenomenal time. That's how much she loved Harry Potter. So in a way, it's for me, for my wife, and for some of us, Harry Potter is kind of like that one thing we have still that's feel we're still connected to her in some way.
Right.
That's how much. I mean, seriously, that's how much she loved it. And it really did crush us when she passed away. But one thing I was able to get from my wife, I was actually able to get her a scarf of all 4 houses from the series.
Ooh.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Oh, he's talking about from Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and Gryffindor. Yeah.
I got her that, and I got her, and I was able to get this from Barnes and Nobles. And when I got this for her as a birthday gift, she was shocked. I got her a Slytherin journal and matching pen to go with it. So if you look at it, it's basically like what they did was they had like 4 separate sets from each house. And I know my wife loves Slytherin, and I got her that.
She's a snake, as well.
I got Slytherin for my wife for her birthday. She loved it. And my sister-in-law, when she saw it, she was like, how did you get that? She was like, really? She's like, how the hell? Like, she was like that mad because she's like, how did you get this? I told her, I was like, yo, can you hook me up? Which one you want? I want all 4. Hooked her up with all 4 books and all 4 matching pens.
Yeah, and like I said,
I loved it.
As long as there's a franchise behind it, or like a fan base behind the franchise, then and if it gets turned into a movie, then there could be considerably amount of hype behind it.
Yeah,
but it just has to have a franchise behind it. That's what I think. I think this goes to what Mr. Bennett was saying actually, because I think there has to be like a fan base behind it normally.
Yeah. Now, if like, I was to take something, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was thinking of the movie that was turned into It came out 3 years ago. Ready Player One, and that's a book.
Yeah, someone mentioned that actually.
Now that was a book. I didn't know about that at all.
I didn't.
But all I saw was Here's why I was hyped when I saw that trailer. I'm seeing Gundam. I'm seeing God Mecha Godzilla. I'm seeing the Iron Giant. Like, dude, these are all like game characters, and the Ninja Turtles and all this. Like, dude, like it's gamer galore for people for Game Boys or fanboys who grew up with these characters. And I'm like, that had hype behind it because when we saw that, and even the Back to the Future car, dude,
The
like,
DeLorean.
yeah, the DeLorean, yeah, dude, like, come on. So
I,
and I'm talking about like how it looked. Like that looked amazing to me. And when I watched it, I'm like, this is an even better movie than I thought it was.
honestly,
So yeah,
honestly, I'll be honest. I kind of teared up because I felt like I was watching my childhood.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how much I
yeah,
loved it. It was. I at first I didn't like. I didn't. I saw. I heard about it. I was like, okay, let me check this out. When I finally got a chance to watch it from beginning to end, I'll be honest, I teared up because I felt like I just watched my childhood.
your entire
Everything
childhood, yeah,
from
exactly.
yes, everything from the
From the
days of
'80s.
Atari,
Yep.
ColecoVision, to Nintendo, to Sega, to everything now. I loved it.
Yeah, they
I
put everything in that movie. I'm not
and
gonna lie,
that's why
like
I loved it.
everything from every generation,
And
and
that's
it's
why I loved it.
ridiculous. Yeah, do they put a Gundam in there? I'm like, and you know me, I'm a Gundam fanboy. I'm the king of Gundam. I love Gundam. When I saw that, like the RX-78, I was like, okay,
Mhm.
bro, Mecha Godzilla versus the RX-78. Okay, dude, you can't. I'm sorry, bro. You can't get any better than that. I'm sorry. Like like that movie lived up to its like hype. Like
Yeah,
literally, and it ended good. It ended bad. It actually ended good.
yeah.
And I'm like, and then I tell my friend, I never read the book, and I'm like, to me, bro, I listen. If I ever read the book, bro, it's gonna take a lot of advice from on my part because I'm like, I'm glad because it sounded like it was a one for one note. I didn't hear any complaints about the movie at all.
No, I
Nobody
really heard
bitched or
anything
complained.
about it too. But what I
To,
loved
any,
about,
to anybody who read it, yeah,
but like I said, anyone my age, and Paul could definitely relate. If you remember the early days of gaming back in the 70s and 80s, if you remember those days and everything associated with it, and you got to see it evolve to where it is now, you had a great life. That's my opinion. Because my
yeah,
nephews, my nieces and nephews, they saw it and they were like, "Yo, it was great." Even my daughters saw it and they were like, "Yo, there were a few things I just didn't
When
get," and I told
when
them,
when this
"Y'all
first
too
came
young."
out, I didn't want to go
hmm
see it at first. I thought it was like it looked cheesy, like and like my cousin put me down, like, dude, you gotta watch this. I'm like, you're
yeah.
gonna okay. I'm like, I don't know, it looks cheesy.
I
I'm like,
regret not seeing it in theaters either, Martin. Like I'm
Yeah,
mad at myself. I gotta go see that
yeah. I
because
wish I kind of
once
saw
I
it in
did see
theaters
it, I was
too.
like, dude, I should have went to go theaters to go see this damn thing. It looked good.
No, I would have loved to see it in
Like
theaters
the
because I
graphics look amazing on a big screen. That's
because
why.
I know I would have loved it seeing it in theaters because I would have been that guy a lot of these young kids would have came to and asked me, "Yo, what was it like playing the old Nintendo? What was it like playing ColecoVision? What was it like
Nintendo.
about TurboGrafx 16?" Like just asking me questions. How was
Yeah, dude.
gaming back in the day? And
Dude,
I just
they had a
and
lot of and they had a lot of cameos in there. They had The Shining. They had
yep,
Chucky in there for like a
yep.
like a little dead
Child's
thing.
Play.
That was oh dude, they
It
they
was
knew what they were doing.
it was pop culture.
Yeah.
And I tell people like when they were asking me about the like if someone asked me, "Yo, what the hell's up with them twins?"
Mm-hmm.
You got to see The Shining to get it.
Get The Shining, yeah, exactly. And that was and you know what's so funny? One of my I was in college, and we have like a gallery display for anybody who does projects. The Shining was literally in that thing, and that's the only reason why I remember the movie is because the color and the title
The
when it did
hallway
that.
and
So and I'm
everything
like
else.
the
The
hallway and
car break
everything
between
exactly.
girls and everything. Yep.
And when we got to that in the movie, I was like, wait, and I was like, is that The Shining? I was like, get out of here. I was like, that's the only reason I only know because I don't know about like certain scenes, but that once they went in the hallway, I'm like, dude, they're in The
That's
Shining. Get the hell
Shining.
out of here. And I was
Yeah.
like, and it
And
looked good.
and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like my daughters asked me about it. They were like, "Yo, Dad, I just didn't get it." I was like, "You're too young to get this." You, and that's why and that's why I love seeing movies like that when you get to relive your childhood like in a theater. I love it when teenagers and kids in their 20s come and ask, not because I realize now I'm the OG. You
No
know,
shit.
That's funny, Spartan. He said no shit.
but I just love it when they come and ask me, yo, what was this like, or what do you remember about this stuff? And I just enjoy it because I remember being their age, talking to the OGs about the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and even like in the 70s. And like listening to their stories, listening about how the times were, the technology, so on and so forth. And like once you hear certain songs or you see certain movies, it connects you by a certain time period. So when I saw that in Ready Player One, and there was some things that I totally remember, it was like, yeah, I remember this. And to me, that's why I loved it. It was better than I expected, and that's why I teared up and I appreciate it, because when you get a chance to grow, when you get a chance to get to where Paul and I are, and you get to see all these things, and you're seeing people much younger than you looking into it and appreciating it, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I tell people mostly there are mostly messages in certain movies like Matrix, like Ready
Mm-hmm.
Player One. That was a big thing too. Because let's keep it real, like the best way you can keep your income literally is by playing the game and getting money from that. I go lie, I would actually like it if, for example, I have a pool game on my PS5 right here, y'all. If I if I won, like the win is like $8,000. If I can convert that into actual freaking like actual credits, like Ready Player One, man, nobody would. You know, it'd be so funny. Nobody would ever go broke.
Exactly.
It'd be like and now it'd be like gambling for you to win, bro. It'd be like, oh, I got 8,000 today, bro. Nigga, I'm good. I'm good for every like 3 weeks. I wish we had something like that, bro. Because I'm like, bro, because I go, I be playing a lot of people online and I be getting W. So if I won like 5 games, bro, I'd probably have like 45 grand in my pocket right now. Like I wouldn't need to work. So and it would just spat on people who say like, oh, gamers are like, shut up, boy. I'm making bank more than you did in more than you did in a whole week. I make 45 grand in a week. Get out of here. So so you know, even with Ready Player One, where I was trying to show that these people like this is the new economy for society, because this is how you have to make your bread. This is what you have to do.
Well,
So spend money normally on that, or hey man, or is that or you fail. It's that
mhm,
simple.
mhm.
So like I said, so that's why I said with some of the movies, it's not just about like, just um you throw some stuff in there, you hope that we like it. We want you to really care, like to put some freaking effort into this and actually give a good direction. That's why I care. That's why I said that's why I like some of the older movies a little bit, because I feel like they were directed a lot better. Like what I said about RoboCop and things like that. Like I'm like, you're getting into sci-fi robotic territory with that
Yeah.
movie. Same thing with Terminator. You're getting
Mhm.
more into the whole horror aspect, and also and also I want to talk about Rambo as well, because I know Paul's seen all the Rambo movies. At least I know you've had to see all of them,
Right.
but what those movies speak on, like yeah, like even though we love Rocky, I tell people this: I love Rocky, but I think Rambo is a more interesting character. I've said that before
Really?
1,000 times. Yes, I think Rocky is an amazing character. But I think Rambo is a more interesting character in my opinion, given what he stands for and given how he was created. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I can
especially
see
that
that.
third movie. That third movie, he was going crazy.
Oh,
That man went crazy. That third movie. I thought number two was crazy, but no, three, no.
oh, when he's in
That man took out a
Afghanistan.
helicopter. Yeah, he took out a helicopter with a tank. I was done. I was done.
I
He's crazy.
no,
Rambo's that dude.
what it was in Rambo 3, when he heard about Trapman being kidnapped, it
Yep.
hit him hard because, and
That's
like,
like a surrogate father. Like the
yeah,
closest thing he has to a family is him.
yeah, and at the same time, like I tell people, like when you're in the military, when you're in the service, the guys you train with, the guys you serve with, they become your family.
Yeah.
They seriously become your family, and people don't realize like that bond. It's very powerful. I remember my friend Nicole. Her husband, like I've been friends with my friend Nicole for a long time. Her husband Bob was also in the army, and so we ran in the same circles. And she was telling me there were times when he found out about somebody he knew that he served with in Afghanistan passing away. He was a total mess, and she was like, "How is that?" And I told her, "That's the military. These are guys he served with. These are guys that he fought with. These are guys he trained with. These are guys that he saw hell and back. So they're going to have a bond that most people will never understand."
Exactly. That you can't replicate.
Exactly. And I told her, just give him a minute. And if you feel like he's still feeling a certain way, let me know and I'll come down to see him. All right. So
Right.
it's those type of things. So,
Right.
oh, wow.
Mr.
Wow.
Bennett, was there something you wanted to say?
No, I just wanted to certainly introduce, I guess, a couple more films that again lived up to the hype. And I'm trying, like I started out talking about sequels, like sequels that exceed. So obviously, Empire Strikes Back, for example, you
Right.
can't get any more hype than that.
Yeah.
As
Right.
big as Star Wars in 1977 was, everything was riding on Empire Strikes Back.
What-
George
isn't
put
that
his
like-
whole.
I got one. I got one for you. Aliens.
The sequel, right?
That's a
The
sequel.
sequel, yeah.
Right. So I'm trying to focus now on movies that weren't sequels, but at the same time they came in with a lot of fan. Now this is kind of off of the book thing, but I think certainly Batman '89.
And we just mentioned that. We were just talking
It
about
was-
Yeah.
Keaton,
Oh yeah.
the first Keaton one.
The first
First
one,
Keaton
yeah,
one, yeah.
yeah. That one had a lot
Oh,
of
the
'cause
Joker
again,
one. Okay.
Jack Nicholson in it.
Michael
You
Keaton.
had Prince, the
Michael-
soundtrack in it.
Yes.
So there was just so much, like, in the marketing behind it. Because I think that was like the first time you started to have like a lot of, like, I don't know, Pizza Hut or Taco Bell, or like you had like a lot of these companies really starting to market and advertise around it. You go to the store and you get a Batman cup or whatever. I mean, they put so much marketing behind it, and I think it definitely paid off. But arguably, I would say probably the greatest. A lot of people would say are the greatest films of all time. That came with a lot of hype was The Godfather.
Yes.
I was about to say, I was
Mario
thinking the
Puzo's
Godfather.
book
Yeah.
came out in 1969. Godfather came out in 1972. Godfather 2 outdid that.
Oh, did-
1974. So you can't have more expectation than that. And I think that's the reason why Godfather, I honestly liked Godfather 3. I don't know
Really?
why
No,
people
no,
because-
I understand why he does.
because the level was so high.
Okay.
It's like if Godfather was a 95, Godfather 2 might have been like a 98. Godfather 3 might have been like an 85.
85, yeah.
Which is a still, it's a good grade. I mean, it's a,
Yeah,
unless
it's still
you
a
one
good
of them-
movie, yeah.
Unless you're one of them parents who's like, oh, if you bring anything less than a 90 home, I'm whipping you or something. I mean, you do have some parents like that who will be like, no, A, unless it's an
Dad.
A, it's unacceptable. So you might have one, but I might even get like an 87, 88. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a bad movie. We just mentioned it.
You just mentioned it, Waller.
It doesn't mean it was a bad movie. It's just like we're saying, the expectation
Yeah.
was so high because, again, very rarely does a sequel outdo the first film, which was
That
great in
is
itself.
true.
Star Wars was great. Empire Strikes Back was greater. Return of
Right.
the Jedi, again, depending on your sensibilities, it may have been a little bit lower. I love Return of the Jedi, but I think it was like the great way to kind of. Some people say, is it good as Empire? I don't know. I mean, but again, Empire went in a totally different direction. It was like a darker theme. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It was
So-
a darker,
definitely.
like tone.
Exactly.
And I still get that debate to this day, Empire or Return of the Jedi. But I think the consensus is the original trilogy is still where it's at. Like,
Yeah, I think
that's
I
all.
think, I think Return of the Jedi hurt itself when it went with the Ewoks versus the Wookiees. Because George said the original plot was to use the Wookiees to go to Kashyyyk or Wookiees, but it was too expensive.
So they went with the Ewoks instead.
They cut them down, right?
Yeah.
And so that, I think it made it a little bit silly, especially when you're coming off something as dark as as Empire was.
Yeah.
But I think that did knocked it down a peg. It wasn't
Right.
as, but it's hard to do that.
Oh, you got
Like,
a point, Eric. Okay.
There's few franchises that can go better movie. The Avengers, I think, pulled it off. Right.
Yes.
The first, okay, that
I think so. Endgame, I think, was better than Civil War. Was better than the original event. I think they were able to have that. Keep raising the bar. That's very difficult.
Up to Civil War. I mean, Endgame. Excuse me. Up to Endgame. Yes.
Well, I'll say this. I think they do. I think they managed to do their first one because I know people like to do comparisons with the Dark Knight. Like the Winter Soldier was really like the first one. Where like, okay, now we're entering top quality movies now because Winter Soldier really is what started. Was like, really, in my opinion, was what started after the Avengers. Okay, now we're getting. Now we're getting quality.
Now we're getting to the meat potatoes.
So when Marvel owned their own character or their own material, they did a great job. I mean, can't deny that.
Right.
Now Disney, Endgame was the last of the Marvel stuff they had left over, and they were finishing up.
Russo brothers. I gotta say it. Russo brothers.
Yeah, I'm not denying that, but now we're going to the dark side, the dark times of Marvel, because these movies are coming out now. They look like shit. I haven't seen a good movie for a while for Marvel.
It's definitely off. I'm just saying, but the Avengers as a group. So Avengers, Age of Ultron, Civil War, Endgame.
Infinity War,
Endgame.
Civil War is actually the third Captain America movie, and that's the funny thing about that.
Yeah.
Because it's like Avengers 2.0, and I know why Paul brings it up too, and I do agree with him. Dude, the Avengers are in that movie, bro. That's why.
To me, it's an Avengers movie more than a Captain America movie. But
it is an Avengers movie.
What about prequels?
What's up?
What about prequels movies?
Again, to me, the best prequel made was Rogue One.
Yes.
Rogue One. It blended so perfectly into
the Star Wars franchise.
Yep.
Yeah.
From the last scene, from the last cut, you could have a watch party and immediately just keep it rolling and just bring up episode 4 and go right into it. It was so good.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Right, dude.
It was like you watched. It was like, okay, here's episode 4, but we're gonna take it back to how all this started, and that's what Rogue One did. And
that's what it did.
Right in. And
you know what's so funny? What's so funny about that whole movie? They did reshots for that too.
Yeah, but I don't think they take it all the way back. It felt like it was like 10 minutes before episode 4 started. They didn't take you all the way back when Luke and Leia were kids or anything like that.
But what I mean is, this is how
you know what I'm saying? Right. But it's just interesting. But the thing about Rogue One, which is so frustrating with Disney, is you had the formula. That is the only successful Disney Star Wars film. But you had the formula. Now I know Star Wars Solo story.
Solo.
I don't think that was as good. But still, you had the blueprint with Rogue One. And you could have told a lot of stories between Star Wars and Empire, between Empire and Jedi. You could have made at least 4 or 5 films
and found a way to put them all, to have them all link
and blended it together. Like the third, like I remember from Jedi. I remember from Jedi, the briefing before the assault on the Death Star 2.
Okay,
they would talk about the Botham spies who got the plans. And then I remember Mon Mothma saying many Bothams died to get us this information.
That's right.
You could have told like a similar story to Rogue One with the Botham spies and how they got those plans to the rebels for the
Death Star
second Death Star attack. So again, there was so much there you could have built on.
But you decided in episode 4. I thought that was in A New Hope. That briefing.
No, that briefing you're talking about. This is the second from Return of the Jedi, when they're going on this Lando Calrissian. He's captain of the Millennium Falcon, and those guys go down to
Endor.
to the Endor and all that. So that bothered her. So Mama, she gives up and gives the speech, and she, and again, she delivers it well. It's like many Bothas died to get us in and give us information, and then she goes to Admiral Akbar, and he comes in and does his thing.
Yeah.
But there was a story. There was a story that she kind of summarized in that retelling of how they got the plans and the information.
Right.
You could have made a movie off of that I think would have been interesting as well, but
Right.
they didn't go there. So that to me that's frustrating.
The thing with Disney at the time. So Disney came out and publicly said, "We have no material to work with."
What?
And it blew my mind when I heard that, because not only you have multiple materials with novels, comic books, and all the scripts he handed over George Lucas. He pretty much gave them everything on a silver platter. They pretty much burned everything. Now with these new movies, oh god, I want to eye gouge my eyes. That's the first one, Force Awakening. I felt it was a reimagine of A New Hope.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't nowhere near, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Obviously, yeah, I have a Star Wars tattoo.
Okay.
I have 2 lightsabers. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I don't understand why would you do that.
The thing that kills me, when you look at some of the series they did based within the Star Wars storyline, Ahsoka, Maul, The Mandalorian, you could have found a way to blend all that in there. And I don't know if they were trying real hard to try to be just as big or bigger than the trilogies, or what. My thing is, stay to the origins of the story like they did with Rogue One. Stay to the origins of the story. And I think, honestly, Rogue One answered a good number of questions before you lead into A New Hope. Because I know there was some things that happened in New Hope, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, how did this happen? What do they mean by this? What do they mean by that? And then you see Rogue One, and it filled in the gaps. Now, that's how they got the plans. This is how they figured it out. This is how Luke gets the droids, so on and so forth.
Yes, very, like I said, very well done. And honestly, and it's interesting too how time and perspective changes things. I don't think I would have said that about the Star Wars prequels, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Until we saw 7, 8, and 9. You know what I'm saying? Now I look at those like in a whole new light.
You have to.
Because even though it wasn't perfect, but I mean, you got Darth Maul. I mean, who didn't lose their stuff when Darth Maul came out with the dual lightsaber? When he loaded that thing up, the one came out, and then the second one came out, everybody lost their stuff. Everybody lost it. Then at the end, the fight he had with Obi-Wan at the end after the energy doors opened up.
Right.
The athleticism, that exchange that they had with the lightsabers, it was like, electric.
You see Obi-Wan impatient, like he wants to be there. You see Qui-Gon meditating, and then you see Darth Maul pacing back and forth, like waiting.
Yeah.
Like drooling, foaming at the mouth, like I watch you. I wait for this thing to come down, and I want you now. Like he's just like getting hyped. And the minute that shield opened up, he went at it, and then you saw Qui-Gon go from meditation to attack, just like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good. And then obviously Obi. Now the sad thing about that, the Anakin Obi-Wan fight in Revenge of the Sith is a fraction of what it was. Like they look up YouTube and find the footage of what the fight should have been. Same thing with the fight with Count Dooku. That fight was a lot better than what we got, but for some reason it didn't get to the final edit. But you can look at what that footage was. It was even more. It was better.
Wow, I can imagine.
I think they were just trying to cut back because of the They didn't want the movie to be too long, I believe, if I remember correctly. They were saying.
But even still, they could have did what they could have did when they put it out on DVD. They could have had the theater version and an extended version.
Or a director's cut or some shit like that.
Yeah, they could have did that. And I feel like if a lot of people saw the director's cut on DVD, like Paul said, you would see it in a different light. You definitely would see it in a different light. And I think you would have a greater appreciation because they had more time to tell more stuff. And then you would have saw it all start coming together. Like, okay, now this makes sense. Now I see where they're going with it. Now I see it like Rogue One did. Rogue One filled in the gaps when you went from there to episode 4. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 would have filled in the gaps to Rogue One, which would have helped fill in the gaps for the original trilogy. And that's the thing that I'm frustrated with is fill in the gaps. Don't try to outdo each other. Just tell the story. Don't feel like you got to do too much or say so much, but don't hold back at the same time. Be as accurate as possible. Fill in the gaps. Have a strong story that fits in and blends in. Because then you will see, like, you know what? Now, like, how this flows. Because you could have did, 4, 5, and 6. Then you did 1, 2, and 3. If they would have taken that approach. Then you could have did Rogue One. That fills in the gaps. And everything would have went on and would have found a way to fit together. Wally, Sakafe.
Wally, what's going on, my man?
Wally, come on here.
Well, now that cancer has been done, okay. I thought we learned to let that go, but nope, we still on that.
I'm never gonna let that go.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Anyway.
Well, they gotta find some way of flushing you out. But,
No.
So
no.
we're at the point right now talking about about the Star Wars movies, how they could have done a lot better. Do you have anything on that?
No, because I mean, granted, have I watched Star Wars? Yes. Am I deep into the ethos of it? No. But I do respect Lucas' work on it. But overall, I'm not that deep to it to the point that I'm going to sit here and fan them out. So, I mean, to me, as far as for what I've seen, other than the extra stuff that pretty much Disney took their shot in touching, no. But everything else, pick and choose. And Eric, I don't know what red alert means because what the heck I'm gonna do coming in here?
No, they're trying to get our attention. That's why he did red alert.
No, he did red alert because my opinionated ass is gonna start doing some dumb shit.
Hey, that's an ode to Star Trek, okay? Red alert.
Well,
I was gonna say Autobot. I was gonna say damn it. Transformers. Yeah.
Okay.
Because there is an Autobot named Red Alert.
Oh wow. You know your Transformers, I'll give you that.
Hey man, Hot Shot, freaking dude, I know them. I know the ones that people don't actually bring up particularly. Because I'm deep into the mythos.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
And Armada is one of my favorite series. I don't care what it says. I love the Mini-Con War because they actually get to fight Galvatron. No, they get to fight Galvatron and Unicron in that one, literally. And Starscream has the best character development in the whole series. They did something with that Starscream I never thought they'd ever do, and I loved what they did with it.
Okay.
That man was went from a villain to an anti-hero. I love it. I love that. I love it.
The original cartoon?
Yeah, I did.
You ever saw the movie?
Yes, saw the movie.
Okay. There you go.
Starscream,
Right.
the Starscream, the version of Starscream that we got that wants to become king and just overthrow Megatron is classic. And I never said I didn't like it. I love it. But I was just surprised. But I was just surprised they turned that dude into. I was surprised the route he went. Literally. and he this motherfucker took on Megatron in Armada, like he literally took him on 1-on-1. It was not afraid, like literally. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, dude, that's the bravest I've ever seen Starscream ever be. Not just talk a bunch of crap. Like he actually was.
He actually backed
He was
it up.
about. He backed it up. Yeah, he backed it up. And then and to the point where Megatron has respect. Like, yo, don't anybody disrespect with this man. This man actually had the balls to actually take me on. And he actually showed respect to the dude that he wasted. That's actually crazy to me. So. And it actually gave Megatron more character development for me when he did that. I'm like, yo, Megatron would never do that. I'm like, nah, he got nah. Megatron is about he's a totalitarian. He's all about being the king of the Decepticons, all of that stuff. But this man got some he got some morals in there. I don't know how, but he got some morals in there apparently. So that's a good thing. Instead of just being blah blah, I'm all evil. So things like that. And did you see Transformers? Yeah, did you see Transformers 1, by the way? Andrew?
What's up?
I'm sorry, who you asked?
Oh, I'm asking everybody. Did anybody see Transformers 1, the one
Yes.
they came out?
Yes.
Like the
I
whole
know.
origin
I didn't
between.
see it. I heard it wasn't that very good, but I didn't get
I
it.
saw it.
Okay, who said? I want to know who said that because that is crazy. Like they did like I'll say this. I think it wasn't promoted very well. I won't say that. That's what I'm gonna say. You want to know why? Because I was wanting to know the origin between freaking Megatron and freaking Optimus Prime before they became who they're supposed to become.
Right.
They did a great job with that. Now
Yeah.
the only thing I will say this is me being objective. I'll give one criticism. I do think his turn was a little quick, not really quick, a little quick. I would like a two movie partner for him to actually turn into that.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's what I will say for that particularly. But other than that, they get a good job of giving the Autobots their origins and the Decepticon their origins of like how they all became what they became.
Right.
Like that was well done. Can't nobody tell me that was bad. And whoever said that, they ain't a Transformer fan. Because everybody I know who reacted to it, who watched it, said that shit was good.
Yes.
I haven't heard one negative thing. The only thing is just at the turn. That's the only one criticism you get, and it's the only one that I do agree with. And I'm like, who said that? but not Mr. Ben, but not Mr. Benny. Give it a watch and then see for you. I want you to have your criticism. Don't let them idiots get in your brain. don't let them do it. And besides, you might end up liking it near the very end. I ain't gonna hold you because I was surprised what they did. I was like, I'm really surprised. I was like, what?
When you saw
I'm like, now I want a part 2. I want a part 2 now.
they have to, because the way they had him develop and becoming Megatron, it was like, oh wow! Like you hear the voice, then you see his eyes, and it's like it's all slowly starting to come together. And then when he gets his cog, it's like, yep, the transformation is complete now. Like you saw the transformation with both of them.
I personally did not like it. I'll be honest with you. I know what you guys saying. I just didn't enjoy it.
No, let me ask you. You enjoy the representation of it, or just like how it was done in general? Would you prefer live action?
I still probably didn't like it either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think live action would have made it worse. They couldn't give us the in-depth of a great movie with that type of animation. I don't think so. And besides, Michael Bay only has one W for me, and that's probably the first one he did. And I ain't gonna lie, because that was done very well. But other than that, they just kind of started falling off for me when they did the live actions in general. Now, the Rise of the Beast, I do like that one. I actually generally do like.
Oh, really?
Yes, because the Bezoids, I think they were done very well. The only difference is I always tell people they may have only had maybe like 2 humans in there with it, but at the same time, it felt more of like, okay, this feels more like a actual Transformers movie than it does a human part.
Right.
But they did incorporate G.I. Joe in that bitch, and I was surprised at the very end when they did that.
They were always talking about trying to because they both ran in the same universe. People didn't realize they both ran in the same universe.
They had a crossover.
They both were done by the same they were both produced by the same studios, Sunbow, and they were both by Hasbro as well. So one thing, it just worked. It just worked, plain and simple.
Right.
But when I saw the what was that version again? The one with when they had Jazz. It took place in '94.
Oh, that's Rise of Beast. Yeah, yeah, that's the one. You said Jazz?
Yeah, because I remember when I was watching it in theaters when they were showing it, it was a live action one, and now and everything's taking place, and I'm like, that's summer '94. Like everything just popped in my head. They're talking about the Knicks in the finals. The Rangers just won the cup at that summer. I was like, and I
Yeah.
remember somebody was asking me, he's like, that really, yeah. I was like, summer '94, yeah, dude, that was a happening time. The
Right.
Garden was hopping. Everybody was already excited about the Rangers winning the cup. Now the Knicks are in the finals too. Yeah, that all happened. I was like, no, that was summer '94 because the World Cup started that year. I graduated high school that summer, and I was just like, yo, I liked it because, like I said, it was like reliving my childhood. It was definitely reliving my childhood again. That's what I definitely liked about it.
Right.
Hey guys, I'm gonna sign off. I gotta take my daughter and wife to the airport. They're going to Vegas for the weekend, so I need to get a little rest beforehand. Good show, good topic. Hopefully, I added some stuff. Wally, I'm glad you appreciated that. Added the Godfather certainly to the mix. I think that was certainly a hard franchise group to pull off, but I think they did so. But again, I got less hate for Godfather 3. I thought it was good. I thought
Same
it was
here.
a B.
I'm with you.
I thought it was a B plus. It wasn't the A plus like the first two were, but I think that's why the discontent with it. But I didn't think it was that bad. But I'll catch up with you guys certainly later on. Certainly, you guys join me tomorrow night on Next Gen Training with Coach. We'll be in part 2 of the different types of intelligence. So again, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time here on the Spartan HQ Network. I'll see you guys then.
All right, Paul. You have a good one, man.
All right, Paul, you be safe and have a good night, man. But I think when it like I said, when it just like comes to like Star Wars in general, because I mean we get in so many talks about it. It's just if they had just did like I don't like them making Rey a character in general. I had nothing to the actress. I think the actress is fine. I just don't. I just did. Now I'm gonna say that just like Charles Sparta don't give a damn about Transformers 1, I do not give a damn about the freaking them bringing back Palpatine, them doing. I maybe care about Kylo Ren, maybe when he was first introduced,
Mm-hmm.
but then he's just a fucking boy with fucking daddy issues, and I don't give a damn about that either.
He really did have daddy issues. He was too like to his grandfather, more like it.
Yeah,
It was more like he
and
didn't have daddy issues. It was more like he wanted to be like his grandfather. That's what it was.
right, but it was like more like Darth Vader,
Yeah.
and yeah, they just it just took me out. Like I like now, I'll say this: I like Poe as a character. I think that like him, I like. He's cool. Um, Finn's character, I would have liked them expand upon. I would have liked to have made him a Jedi personally, because I
Okay,
think
I
he
can see
secretly
that.
should. I think he secretly should have been one, literally. And maybe not walking in the first movie, but like first one would have been a glimpse of it, and the second one he unlocked his abilities, and then he would have trained himself in some way or learned from someone. I would have been fine with that, but then we would have. I've been fine with that, but it's just like they did a poor piss job, in my opinion, trying to like the Star Wars franchise personally, but they did. But with the Clone Wars, I think it's one of their best works. Especially the Ahsoka stuff for the final season, for like how the whole Order 66 goes down from her perspective. They do a great job with that, which is one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
Which is why all the clones turned on them, not because they were on Palpatine's side, because they had chips programmed into them
Yeah.
to obey, to betray the Jedi whenever it happens, and follow a specific command that freaking Palpatine put into their brains.
Yep.
And it was well done. I like that more than just in the movie where they just turn on them.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's stupid, but because I'm like, you're telling me like, nah, we weren't really friends, we were just betraying all y'all have a special connection to some of these generals in general to some way. Ahsoka did, Anakin did, Obi-Wan did for damn sure. And it's just like I like the idea of them being programmed. Like it's just more mastermind. So like how Palpatine is more, cutthroat and more sinister with his stuff.
Right.
Which is why I appreciated him more, because I mean like he's more of a genius than I thought he was.
Yeah.
Because if Anakin didn't work out, his ass could get it. Well, I'm not saying he would have got killed, but he can go with the rest of them.
No,
Out
but
of one.
the one part I've always liked from Revenge of the Sith was when Anakin was marching to the Jedi Temple. You see him, and then you see the clone army right behind him in
Right
step.
behind him. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you see him going up the stairs, it was like,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
gone forever at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he's about to take charge now. You know
Yeah, and
that's
yeah, no, I agree with you. And I told people, I told my friend, I said, he said, if you pay attention to those movies, because this was an argument several back in the day with a friend of mine, he said they kind of contradict themselves, or at least the prequels contradict the original three, because people are like, oh, Anakin was supposed to have made was supposed to have been made a choice to go to the dark. I mean, he's supposed to make a choice to go to the dark side, right? And it was supposed to be like his he was enticed by it, but like, and my friend's like, oh no, he did choose. Like, no, that didn't freaking happen. No,
no
he was fucking tricked. That's not the same fucking thing. He was tricked, and his hand was forced.
right,
And that's the thing. Like I said, he was tricked, and he is like I say he was tricked, and he had his back pressed up against the wall, and that's not how Obi-Wan described it in Return of the Jedi,
right,
where he said like he said, and everybody knows what he says, where he said like, oh, he was seduced by the power of the dark side. That's what it was.
mm-hmm.
And I do want to say this, but seduction is a con job, and here's the greatest con that we all know of. When Mace Windu had when Palpatine was fighting Mace and Mace had him pinned down. Do you
Right,
honestly believe that Palpatine could not beat Mace? No, and I'm like my friend, and then my friend was like, no, Palpatine can easily kill Mace. Doesn't
mm-hmm.
matter if he can incorporate Vapod and things like that. He still wouldn't be able to beat him. He'll be able to contend, but it felt like maybe like 5 minutes longer than probably than another Jedi can, because he's
Right,
really skilled. But because his people, which is one thing I liked about I wish we got would have got more ways to do. But his people are naturally tuned with the dark side. That's what that is. So but but like I said, but he tricked them into thinking that Miz could have killed them. Like I said, but that's my whole things about the prequels is what I said. Like and it's like, oh, when Palpatine was dangling the whole dark side thing around him, and he was talking about like, Dark Plagueis, and he was able to, right, keep the loved ones, people he cared about from dying,
right,
and stop them from like things like that. And it should have been, this is alluring, this is attractive. Why am I attracted to this? And I'm like, the bulk of what's there, I like. It's just a matter of mixing motivations and statements, motivations and dialogue. That's what it's really about. The action can stay the same as far as I'm concerned. Oh, and by the way, the whole what Palpatine thing that didn't work for me in the movies. It was obvious. It was
That was
that negative. Yeah, that was stupid. It was obvious. It was him
yeah,
because and I told my friend that, and I told my friend, yeah, it was obvious to us because we're looking at it. The problem was Palpatine was clouding the force, so they couldn't tell.
mm-hmm.
That's really what it was. And I'm like, because I had explained to him when I read the book later on, like years later, and he says, okay, let me explain something for you, because a lot of people don't understand this. In the novels, these guys are much more powerful than they are in the movies. Like the force bomb or the thought bomb, no, like that they can take out planets and stuff like that. So what people don't know is, so like Palpatine actually had precognition. He has not like a type of forecast, but he has two different versions of precognition. So so you can blindside him when he's not using his immediate precognition. But he has to generally use the force that way in order to like to predict certain outcomes. So and that's what the best way I can explain to you is he was able to manipulate the most powerful one Jedi in the other and the wisest in the other hand, which is Yoda.
Mm,
That's Anakin and Yoda we're talking about. And that's
right,
exactly what he did. And I don't want people to think it's like a forecast. It's not like a forecast, I promise you. It's nothing like that. It's more so I can see a few seconds, and I can use this as a means to like cloud ideas into your head to give you things of doubt. And then my precog tells me of like immediately what's going to happen. but it's different because it's really weird because the funny thing is what I was led to believe in guys before I got all this expanded I got all the expanded knowledge. I was always thought Jedi can see the future, but Sith couldn't.
Right.
And I thought Sith could shoot lightning and Jedi couldn't. But there are great Jedi, like Galen Maverick, the dude, the Star Killer.
I
He started
personally
off with the
think,
dark side, and then he ended up as like a great Jedi at the very end. So
I
he was able to
personally
shoot, to control lightning. Go ahead, Sparta.
all three Jedi, the Star Wars, the Jedi, the Sith, and the Great Jedi. I think the Great Jedi are the coolest ones, personally.
The great Jedi and the Sentinel are the best characters in my opinion because
I'm
Sentinels they
looking
use.
for a novel side of it, like
Okay, yeah.
because we haven't really seen any great Jedi on screen yet, on the movie side of it at least.
No.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Ahsoka is a great Jedi. Actually, she's actually by the end of the Clone Wars, and
I
they end
haven't
up finding
seen that
her.
yet.
She's
I
a
haven't-
great Jedi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but one part of the I can remember the show it was called now. They brought Anakin back, not Anakin, Luke back. A different different actor played them, obviously. But when he came in and started swinging those lightsabers and destroying those droids or whatever they were, man,
Right.
a lot of people lost their shit when they saw him back after all these years.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But it was a very good scene, and that's what you can make really good movies, memorable movies that will get the hype.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's not.
Don't try too hard. I think the problem is they were trying too hard.
You know what a problem with movies today in 2026? They're running out ideas, and they're redoing a lot of things over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem I have. But this is just me personally. If you've done a classic, never touch it ever again. I don't give a damn. Don't do it ever again. Just leave it the way it is.
A good example, with two good example when they brought Ghostbusters back. The first movie, it wasn't a bad movie. It was a decent movie, I thought. Ice Age, oh boy, that was a little bit disappointing. I'll be honest with you guys. But another good example is Top Gun Maverick.
They had to do
Maverick.
that. They had to because you knew eventually they were going to have to do a second one. And when I heard they were going to do it, I was like, okay, I'm going to be interested to see how this is going to work out. And I was just like, now they started filling all the circles. The only thing I wish they were able to do is bring back other cast members from the original movie. If they were able to bring back, say, like Tom Skerritt, Michael Ironside, Rick Rossovich, Barry Tibb, Whip Hewley, Clarence Scanner Jr., like everyone from the original. If they were able to bring some of them back as well, either some of them still in the Navy or some of them no longer in the Navy, I think it would have been a great way of like to tell the story. Okay, you saw these guys; they were adversaries. They were they were adversaries somewhat. What happened after after they finished the class? Because I like the fact that what they did with both Maverick and Iceman, that they went from these rivals with these alpha mentalities to being that good friends. Because the fact that Maverick had the phone number to a 2-star admiral in his phone, and he could still call him by his call sign like it was nothing, that showed like they really became very good friends. But the thing was, I remember people were asking me, why are they making such a big deal about Maverick's rank? And I had to explain that to people.
For people who don't know, please enlighten us.
Okay. All right. Maverick's rank is Captain Pete Mitchell.
Correct.
All right. Call sign Maverick. The reason why, after all his years of service and the part that Ed Harris mentioned in the beginning of the movie, distinguish, and yet here you are, a captain. What happens is if Maverick gets promoted to admiral, if he gets that star, he can no longer sit in the cockpit anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
I knew that part of the rank, but I didn't know that's why he held back. I never connected the dots to now.
Yeah. There's a term, and it's from another movie, but it's an actual term in the military. An Iron Eagle. An Iron Eagle usually refers to either a full bird colonel or captain who has all the accomplishments and meets all the requirements to earn their star. The thing is, once they get that star, everything that they were doing up to that point, it can no longer do. Like if you're a pilot and you're a full bird colonel or you're a captain in the Navy, once you get that star, you no longer fly. If you were a full bird colonel in the Army and the Marine Corps and you're always in the field, the minute you get that star, you're stuck in an office. Little things like that. And that's why Maverick did everything possible to make sure he never got promoted, because he felt like he belongs in a cockpit. You take him out of a cockpit, he's no one. If he's flying a plane, he's always going to be Maverick. And I think that's how he got his call sign. He's just like them, but he's not one of them. And if you saw the first movie, when when Maverick and Goose had that conversation, it makes perfect sense. That's why
That
Maverick
makes a lot of sense now.
It does. That's why Maverick flies the way he flies. He's just like them. He's a naval aviator, but he's not one of them. And if you ever watch the first Top Gun and the second one, they kind of pointed out, but you don't realize it. What's the one thing Maverick doesn't have that all the other aviators in both movies have?
Tell me.
A class ring for the U.S. Naval Academy.
Oh, shit. The Top Gun school, you saying?
No, not the Top Gun school, the U.S. Naval Academy. Because the majority of naval aviators are graduates of the Naval Academy. That's why I said he's like them, but not one of them.
Interesting.
Go think about it. Think about it. You look at the part in the first one when Maverick and Goose are having that chat, and what Goose tells him, "Hey, I know it can't be easy for you being Duke Mitchell's kid. They didn't let you in the academy because of it." And then after the stunt in the flyby, before that scene, the stunt in the flyby, when they're getting chewed out by Viper, and then Viper's talking to Jester, "What do you think of him?" Jester says it. He's a wild card.
It's like his father.
Yeah. And then Viper said, he's just like his father. Can you see yourself going to combat with him?
And remember also earlier scene, he said, Goose said, I know a later scene, I can remember how it went. I know it's hard for you because you banged one of the general or something like that, his daughter or something like that.
He was banging the admiral's daughter. And ironically, what's her name in the movie? In the second one? Penny. The lady that plays Penny. I think her name is what's her name? Hold on, let me pull up the list.
I know. Let's see.
All right. Hold up. Let me pull it up. No, that's the first one. Hold on. Here we are. All right. Let me pull this part up right here. Jennifer Connelly. She played Penny. That was the Admiral's daughter.
Admiral's daughter.
If you saw the first one, you get what I'm talking about. Because the second one answers a lot of the questions from the first one. And also some of the other characters were all graduates from the academy. So how he got into the Navy? He must have enlisted. Did he go to college? Did he go to OCS? They don't say. Did he go to flight school? Why he was in OCS or anything? You don't know. But when he flies with a chip on his shoulder.
Like something he needs to prove.
Exactly. Even though he's accomplished. And like I said, when Ed Harris read off all of his accomplishments,
And he's an ace pilot, technically.
he's still flying like he still has something to prove.
Very reckless.
Yep. And the thing what he did to Rooster, he knew, and the same thing he did with Rooster. Rooster's mom didn't want him going to be a pilot. She remembers what happened to Goose. She was sick. She passed away. And if you hear the story when Maverick's talking to Penny and telling her what happened, he followed her wishes. Ice, I need a favor. What do you need? I need you to pull Rooster's. I need you to pull Bradley's papers. Are you sure? Listen, so-and-so doesn't want him to follow in Goose's footsteps. I need you to pull his papers. Done. And that's what happened. And if you saw the scene where Rooster's talking to Phoenix, you see the anger and the frustration. She's asking him, like, okay, insubordination, all this other nonsense, what the hell's your problem? And Rooster tells her, Maverick, he pulled my papers. He had my papers pulled from the academy. Phoenix asked him, why would you do that? I don't know. Maverick was only following Rooster's mother's wishes, final wishes, before she passed away. She did not want him to be a pilot.
He's trying to be the good guy, and he got fucked in the ass, unfortunately.
Exactly. And that's why Rooster had this anger towards him. Basically, if you think about it, Maverick, he wasn't basically his father trying to be a circuit father. You can basically say Maverick is Rooster's godfather. That's the best.
A father figure, in other words.
Yeah. He only wanted what was best, and he was following the wishes of his mother. All right, Paul, have a good one, man. And following...
You mean Eric, by the way.
Say again? Oh.
You mean Eric.
Have a good one. My bad. And at the same time, honoring her wishes set him off, and that's why they were basically estranged all that time.
All right, let's start getting on our final thoughts, guys. So what do you think?
Okay.
All right. Anton, you want to go first? Jay second, and Wally third.
Okay. This was definitely a great discussion, and I know we stuck to only some certain few movies. There were definitely a lot more movies that had expectations, that had great and came in with high expectations. To me, movies are telling a story. And whether you're doing a sequel 30 plus years after the original, or you're doing something that no one ever thought was possible based off a book, you want to always try to be as accurate as possible. But at the same time, you sometimes want to put something in a little bit different to give it a little bit of a spin. I understand why Paul can get frustrated when people made a big fuss about movies like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. People feeling like and Chronicles of Narnia, that the movie should be just like the book. That's not always possible. It isn't. And we all know how long the Lord of the Rings movies are. They're pretty long. So I feel like they did
3 hours.
Yeah. You can't say you cut stuff out and the movie's 3 hours long. But if you find a way to tell a story and it wins people over, and you're able to do a sequel and it does better, or you could do a whole entire arc on it and each movie's better than the other, that's all it is. You tell the story and you find a way to make it better. But not just living up to those expectations, but just find a way to fill the gaps in. And sometimes that's why some sequels are better than the original, because it fills in the gaps and answers a lot of questions that you probably didn't know. Just like what I was just explaining about Top Gun Maverick. People didn't know certain things that happened in the first one. I was able to explain the significance and the importance of it, and it filled in the gaps. Plus, also was a great send off for the late Val Kilmer as well. A lot of these movies, like I said, tell great stories. Some movies make you laugh, some make you cry, some make you think, and then you got some movies that help you relive your childhood. You remember how it was when it came out 30, 40 plus years ago, and then you get to see the sequel, or you get to see a movie that shows stuff from 30, 40, 50 years ago, and
Yeah.
you just learn to appreciate it. Or when you get to where I am, you explain to the young people the significance and the importance of it, and how something that you remember from 40 years ago is now part of pop culture to a lot of these young people. It's fun. And I just tell people that's what it's all about. That's all I got to say. And those some words we're thinking about.
Oh wow, my turn, y'all. All right, I'm gonna plug this real quick. So yeah, this is your man Jay Takashi, guys. My thoughts are: listen, every every franchise, is beloved, and there's some that take it further than others. Some of that was yawning, and I think some of them they need to take that baton out of their ass. That's what I would actually say. But with that being said, is like, listen, if you love it, you love it. If anything, just just don't. I mean, I'm fine with people being passionate, but just don't be so passionate to the point where you're biased, blind, and stupid. Because there are people out here who also consume the media, not just yourself, and you should be treated with respect with others. That's kind of the problem I have with some of these these anime noobs out here who or terrorists out here where they'll take something and just try to implement their own American morals and views on something when they never created the series. Like, shut up. Now, if that dude wants to make a series like that, he can make a series like that. You don't have to like it. Walk the freak on and shut up. So that's just my thought process. But all in all, we all love media. We're all here to enjoy it on the planet. Don't have that baton up your ass like these other idiots. Enough said. Now, with that being said, y'all, let's continue to consume good media. And don't forget, guys, we're in the month of July. Do not forget Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out. And I expect everybody to be hyped to go see Tom Holland as Spider-Man. With that being said, um, y'all have a great night, all right? I got some inspection AT&T tomorrow work to take care of. Probably gonna be out in the field. So with that being said, y'all wish me luck and y'all have a great night. Sayonara.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me say it like this. You know how they say you got to fight for elbow space in the aisle that you sit in, amongst, I guess, airplanes, I guess, one way or the other, or in the movie theaters. Well, in this case, it's like you got to start throwing punches just to get some airtime. If you know what that means, well, then you guess what I'm talking about. Yeah, whatever. So I'm just gonna mention some movies because apparently I didn't get a chance to even mention any that may have been a consideration at all. But some movies, if not most, that could have been considered one of the highly rated movies. Schindler's List was one of them. The Matrix, I didn't hear that so far. The Lion King was one of them that I did not hear. Um, yeah, there was also Training Day, The Mummy. So yeah, just a few movies I'm gonna mention overall. But yeah, I hope you got a great night and hope you enjoyed the show.
Well, really fast, we did mention the Matrix a little bit, but there's so many movies, so many things we can talk about. This is like a ongoing conversation that we're never gonna have find the end to it. But let's do a quick schedule update and we'll get the heck out of here. So tomorrow, Coach and Paul are going to their part two of muscle and body. They're going over. We are going to be off for Sunday due to the holiday. We're just going to take a little brief to refresh our batteries and get back on the game. For wrestling show, we will be having it. Pretty sure we're going to have it. I'll talk to Anton off the air for that. And on Tuesday, we're going to be talking, does money really buy happiness? That is the conversation we're going to have on Tuesday. And for next Wednesday, TV dads, the greatest fathers, or just a fire on screen? Yeah, I'm going there. So, except that, guys, this was the Spartan. It's I am the Spartan. He's my man, Anton, my man, Wally. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
And stay punching.